Hey everyone, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Ash Paulson to discuss the latest Nintendo Direct, which focused on the upcoming 3DS games. So let's get started. Well, Ash, we have approximately 30-minute Direct showing off a bunch of new 3DS stuff. We have Super Mario Maker 3DS, we have Yoshi's Woolly World 3DS, and we have Pikmin 3DS, along with stuff that we kind of expected to hear. So, real quick, just general sense, what do you think of this Direct overall?
It was a water treading Direct for sure. I mean, it's clear that it was a holdover Direct, you know?
Yeah, that's the general feeling I got. There's a few things here and there that are kind of exciting, but nothing that's like, oh my god, I need this right away. Outside of a few things, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I felt like it was going to be going in. I was never really feeling this, crazy hype for this Direct in general. I think once we found out it was focused only on 3DS, I think it kind of, helped. It kind of sent yet another message that the Wii U is just kind of dying/dead. And the 3DS is exciting too, but, it's aging hardware, and I think everyone's so ready for NX news at this point that getting a 3DS-focused Direct, while kind of exciting, just the hype wasn't quite there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they showed a lot more new things than I expected them to. There's several new games. A lot of stuff came out a lot sooner than I thought. I mean, there was a lot of things. There's like, by the way, this is available now. So I can't say it did bad. It just, there wasn't anything here that was as exciting because, again, two of the big announcements were games that were on the Wii U and now on the 3DS. If that's not a death knell for the system, I don't know.
That's the thing is, I mean, I totally get why they're doing it from a business standpoint, but I am not a fan of this kind of continuous series of Wii U to 3DS ports. Like, I just don't really care about Yoshi's Woolly World and Mario Maker coming to 3DS because I already have them on Wii U, and I feel like, much like Hyrule Warriors and Hyrule Warriors Legends, especially with Yoshi's Woolly World, I feel like the definitive experience really is still going to be on Wii U just because of the breathtaking graphics. And I don't know, certain things like, Mario Maker 3DS you can only play Wii U levels. You can't play other 3DS levels. You can't even share your levels online. So they feel like stopgap solutions for, they really do feel like Nintendo just trying to get as much mileage as they can out of their failed consoles library, essentially, by repurposing them for 3DS.
Yeah, because we know that Wii U has good games. It's just a matter of getting people to play those games. And, Super Mario Maker, it definitely was one of the big ones. It is very strange. I'm like, we have, the built-in courses with medal challenges, so there's a little bit more depth to those levels. There's ways to play the Wii U courses, of course, which is nice to be on the go or somehow play them. I don't know. I mean, there's ways, but it does seem like, what's the purpose of building levels if you can only share with your local friends?
Yeah, I mean, they said they're trying to focus on the community aspect with Mario Maker 3DS, but why would you have a game that's based on building and sharing your own content in 2016 and not give it just bare bones online functionality, to share the levels that you're creating in that version? I mean, it doesn't make sense that you can only download and play Wii U levels. Like, that just, I don't understand the point of this version of Mario Maker. Like, it's just, hey, I mean, if you don't have a Wii U, then sure, I mean, it's exciting. And Super Mario Maker is a great game. I just feel like the functionality here isn't really that well thought out.
No, I mean, it seems as bare bones as possible to get it on the system, which, okay, I mean, sure, go for it. Do whatever you want. But it's still, it's not exciting. I'm not going to pick this up. I have no reason to pick this up because here's the thing. I don't have anybody locally to play these levels. Nobody cares about my levels. Nobody cares what I do. So why should I bother with it? I love how there's this whole idea is like, be with your friends and whatnot, share with your friends. And I don't know about you, but most people have a lot more online friends than anything else that they want to share with.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe they're trying to aim for a younger audience here that, maybe kids will, hang out after school or at recess or something and like share and collaborate on Mario Maker levels together. But honestly, I think that audience is already mostly captivated by smartphones. So I just don't, not that they don't own and will play 3DS games as well, like Pokemon, for example. I just don't really see a lot of kids today going out of their way to be like, okay, I'm going to go hang out with my friends and play Super Mario Maker 3DS and we're going to collaborate on levels together. I just don't see that being a thing that kids are going to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the collaboration could be kind of fun, how you could work together, because there was a bit of a community thing when I was showing off Super Mario Maker to my friends, and they were like, oh, let me try doing this, and we'd hodgepodge levels and see what we come up with, and it could be interesting in that way. But on the whole, I'm not really excited for Super Mario Maker 3DS at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: I've said before that the stereoscopic 3D tends to really pop with retro style games. So, if they do actually build in stereoscopic 3D into this version of the game, it could look really cool. Not worth another purchase if you already own the Wii U version, I don't think. I'm not going to be getting it. But, I acknowledge that, man, like the Mario 3 and Mario World skins, especially, could look really cool in stereoscopic 3D. But other than that, I mean, yeah,
I was gonna say, if you told me that the only reason you would buy a game is because it has really good 3D, I'm like, you are a lost cause. Like, no, I know you love that stupid 3D a lot, but really, I love how you had to add.
I love how you had to throw in stupid. You just can't just let me love what I love. It has to be stupid.
Nope. Yep, that's stupid.
Hey, there are others like me. We will band together and show the world the true value of stereoscopic 3D.
3D could be cool, but I don't think it adds a whole lot. That's sort of my thing.
I would never buy a game for that.
Yeah,
I would never buy a game for that, for sure.
Yeah, but then we have Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World 3DS, of course. So we have basically every level that was in Yoshi's Woolly World in this game as well as new Poochie exclusive levels, which seem as basic as possible. They almost look like endless runners where you have to collect as many of those jewels as you can, or I guess the buttons. Then you have like extras with the Poochie puppies that help you find secrets, which makes the game even easier. And it seems, it's fine. Yoshi's Woolly World is a good game, and we just talked about on the podcast how it's in your top probably 5 Wii U games.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's a great game, but it's a great Wii U game. I mean, this absolutely just smacks of Nintendo saying, well, this great game we made completely undersold on our failed console, so let's try to get a little more mileage out of it on 3DS. That is literally the only reason this game exists. Same with Hyrule Warriors Legends. I mean, it's obvious and it's so transparent what they're doing with these 3DS ports of Wii U games, but I'm just not a fan of it. I get why they're doing it, and they should absolutely do it. I just don't care.
It's kind of funny. It sort of harkens back to the old days when there'd be a new game release, and there'd be a console version and a Game Boy version.
Yeah,
and nobody ever picked up the Game Boy version. But
that's a good point.
Now they're doing it these days in order to try to get people to buy more of the version, since the console version is not selling as well. Strange times.
Yeah. It's just strange times indeed. Although I have seen some people on Twitter kind of speculating that the fact that we're getting Mario Maker 3DS means that we might not be getting an NX version after all. And I just wanted to point out that I don't think those two things are related at all. Mm-mm. Like, Super Mario Maker is the absolute definition of an evergreen title. They would be crazy not to release that game on NX as well. So I don't think the fact that there's a 3DS version too means anything for the NX version.
No, not at all. There's no way this would prevent it. They're just going to get it on as many systems as possible because it does sell so well. Just real quick thoughts on the Yarn Poochie amiibo.
I mean, it's cute. I think Poochie's cool. I just don't like Poochie enough to buy an amiibo of him. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, who are they really selling this to? I mean, Is Yarn Poochie a character that a lot of people really care about? I don't necessarily think so.
Do you know many people that like Poochie at all? Because, again, he's cute, but he's also annoying from a gameplay standpoint at many times.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was better in Woolly World than he ever was in the past. I mean, I found him less annoying there, but yeah, he's cute, and that's really about it.
Yeah. I don't know, but... Well, next... well, we also have, speaking of not really ports, but actually... I guess a brand new game, Pikmin on 3DS, which rather than the typical gameplay, which, let's be honest, isn't really possible on a 3DS, just because of how small the Pikmin themselves would be if you're going to squeeze in all 100 of them. In order to get a Pikmin game on a handheld, this is pretty much what you have to do. But what do you think of the gameplay in this Pikmin 3DS title?
I mean, it looks like the natural kind of realization of what a side-scrolling Pikmin title would be like. I don't know if this is a game that people necessarily asked for. Like, I kind of feel like this is going to come out and end up having the same amount of impact as something like Chibi Robo Zip Lash, where there's maybe a small subset of series fans who enjoy it, but mostly people just want, like, the next big core Pikmin game,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's unlike Chibi Robo, they're not totally taking it away from its series roots or anything
True.
like that, because this is not a platformer. If it isn't obvious by the fact that the game was the trailer was focused on the bottom screen of the 3DS, I'm pretty sure you control Olimar with the stylus and point him in that direction, and you have to flick and all that stuff in order to toss your Pikmin around and explore that. So it makes sense to focus on the stylus when it comes to a Pikmin game. You might not have a lot of Pikmin, but there's nice detail there. I'm sure it'll look fine on the 3DS itself, and I see potential. I don't know if it's going to be exciting, but there's potential for it to at least be kind of fun.
Well, I have news for you that might dash that potential in your eyes, and that is, I believe that this game is being developed by the same team that made Yoshi's New Island.
You know what? So... You know what's kind of funny? That's not surprising to me, because when I looked at it, I felt like the graphical style was actually very reminiscent of New Island.
I completely agree. So learning that after the Direct did not surprise me at all.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was like, weird. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
As long as the music is not as bad as New Island, I think we'll be okay since this. But these guys, New Island is not a great game. It's a shell of what makes Yoshi's Island so special. I mean, there's enjoyment to be had there, but it didn't quite get the essence of a Yoshi game in the same way that Woolly World did. So hopefully they can do better with Pikmin. I mean, it looked fine at the very least, but as long as the music is not as ear-wrenching as New Island was, oh my god.
Yeah. A fan on Twitter pointed this out, and I agree with them, and that is that this Pikmin game feels very early DS tech demo-esque. It feels, because the fact that you're tapping the screen to throw Pikmin, and the fact that you're controlling so much of the game with the stylus just feels very reminiscent of like something like Kirby Canvas Curse, like early DS days where they're really trying to like shoehorn in some stylus functionality. And not that it's necessarily not going to fit in this Pikmin game. I just find it interesting that they're creating a, seemingly touch-controlled Pikmin platformer type game right now. Mm-hmm. It just seems very DS-y.
A little bit, yeah. I don't think that's an issue in my mind, because it's also sort of like what you'd expect for a Pikmin game. It'd be kind of weird if it was all button-based. It kind of, I don't know, it feels like it would miss something there. I'm not quite sure why, because it is button-based on there, but it just...
No, I know what you mean.
It makes sense using a stylus on a Pikmin game. So...
Yeah. I hear you.
We'll have to see what else comes out of it, but I think there's potential here, but tempered expectations, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm not really that big a Pikmin fan to begin with, so, I'll be watching this one kind of from the sidelines just to see how it kind of ends up turning out, but I'm not, like, actively hyped for it or anything.
Mm-hmm. But how hyped are you for Mario Party Star Rush?
I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but I mean, I'll say this. It looks like it actually gets a lot more right, and it kind of gets that core Mario Party feel right. Or at least better than Mario Party 9 and 10. Like, it seems like it's coming back a little closer to what people want from Mario Party than 9 and 10 necessarily were. So, there might be something here to get excited about, but, I mean, Mario Party's not really the kind of game I want to play in my 3DS. If I'm gonna play a Mario Party game, it's going to be on my TV with friends in the room. I don't really see the point of having people over to play Mario Party on our 3DSs.
Yeah, that's sort of the biggest issue here. Now, to be honest, I did not get a good look at these new modes. I was busy getting things ready and uploaded and all that stuff, so I haven't really seen if these new modes stand out in any real way. But I heard there was one mode. Apparently, there's no luck. It's all skill based, which might make a few people happy.
Yeah. I think that's the Coinathlon mode, if I remember correctly. And that's apparently no luck, it's all skill-based, or at least as much as skill as there is in Mario Party. I gotta give them credit, it really does seem like they're actively trying to do something new and a little different with this game, and not just make it another Mario Party 10-esque experience, which, okay, cool. But just the fact that it's Mario Party on a handheld system. I mean, I didn't care about Island Tour either, and I didn't care about Mario Party DS or Mario Party Advance. Like, I just don't this is not the kind of game I care to play on a handheld system.
Yeah, that's pretty much the issue. And who knows, this might have did better on the Wii U, but again, as we've said already, it's not like they want to put a lot of games on the Wii U, so it makes more effort to just try to get the sales that they can from Star Rush on 3DS.
Exactly. I mean, you know, this is a game that exists to fill a holiday release spot, and literally nothing more, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might be good. It might still be fun. That's entirely possible. I don't say anything about the quality of the game itself, but it's what it's coming out on is probably its biggest issue.
Exactly. I mean, it could very well be a good game, and I think, honestly, I do think it'll probably end up sticking more than 9 and 10 did. I think it'll probably end up being a title that Mario Party fans maybe enjoy a little more, but I still don't think it's the game this series really needs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But then we have the Animal Crossing New Leaf update, which, of course, adds the amiibo functionality, as well as a new series of amiibo cards coming on December 2nd, and of also releasing a pre-patch Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome amiibo also coming, and there's going to be actually an Animal Crossing focused mini direct coming this fall. So they're definitely on an Animal Crossing push, and it's exciting for those who really got into New Leaf. But again, as I've said in the past, Animal Crossing is a game that I enjoy maybe for a few hours, and then it doesn't stick with me.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I stuck with Animal Crossing New Leaf for quite a while, and I still dip back into my village every now and then. I mean, there are some hardcore Animal Crossing fans out there who I'm not a part of. I enjoy the series for what it is, but I think it really speaks to this game's incredibly successful run and amount of lasting power that, this is like, what, a 3-year-old game at this point, and it's getting a new update to add new functionality to it like 3 years later. I think that's pretty cool. Even if I'm not like the hardcore Animal Crossing fan that this update is targeting, it's pretty cool that it's even getting this update, I have to say.
No, it's certainly the case. I mean, that's a level of support you don't usually see that often. So to see them stick with it like this, to add that functionality, and who knows, maybe even this new pack will get even more people to buy the game, since there are new 3DS owners out there. So it's entirely possible. And I guess the mini direct is the thing that catches my attention most. It's like, wow, there's so much Animal Crossing stuff that they have to have a direct.
Yeah, they have to have a direct just focusing on this new functionality in New Leaf, which, I mean, cool. I think I read that the direct is going to happen on November 2nd. I think they gave the date in the Japanese direct today, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, at least this gives all the poor souls who bought a bunch of the Animal Crossing amiibo another game besides Amiibo Festival to use them with. At least it legitimizes those Animal Crossing amiibo just a bit more, because right now, as it stands, there's almost no reason for those things to exist.
Yeah, unfortunately, and they are certainly doubling down on this. Thanks to the that new set of Animal Crossing cards, the amiibo cards.
I've said this before, but I just hate the idea of amiibo cards in general. They're gonna keep making them because people keep buying them, and that's fine if you like to collect them. But the whole point of amiibo is figures, not cards. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, moving on, we also have we actually started the direct with Pokemon Sun and Moon news, which gave us the reveal of Alola and Ratatta, which, not exactly the most exciting Pokemon, because boy, are Ratatta common.
Exactly. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool. We have another Dark-type Pokemon. It makes sense. It works. It might be more useful because now it does have the Dark-type. But it's still one of the most common Pokemon you have out there. I mean, along with Zubat, Rattatas are just everywhere.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's like Alolan. It's like they're what an Alolan Geodude would be like. I mean, it's such a common Pokemon. It's impossible to make Rattata interesting, in my opinion. And I'm not a fan of this design. Like, I didn't really like Rattata to begin with, and then this new Dark type Rattata, I'm like, okay, it kind of looks like, the kind of classic thief archetype you'd see like in an old anime with the little whiskers tied at the front, but okay, pass.
Yeah. It is interesting they have not shown us Alola and Raticate, and that has to be a thing.
Oh, it's gotta be, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, at least thankfully, it wasn't just Alolan Ratatta that they showed off. We also got the Z moves and the exclusive Munchlax that it's going to be coming with the early copies of the game, which can evolve, of course, into Snorlax. And we can get the, I believe, Pulverizing Pancake Z move for Snorlax, which, God, I love that attack. That is amazing.
Super cool looking. And then I think Raichu also gets its own Z move as well.
Yes. I don't think it's a pre-order thing. Well, not a pre-order, but getting the thing. But it is interesting that we're getting a few more details on exactly how the Z moves work and maybe don't function how it is. It's still kind of up in the air exactly how the Z moves relate to everything. Because I did put forth a theory about how they might just sort of tie into the moves that you have on your Pokemon, and that determines what they have. But then we have sort of a wrench in here with exclusive moves and different ones. So I'm not sure what we're in for when it comes to these Z moves when Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, one thing I think we can say for sure is that the competitive metagame with Sun and Moon is just going to completely change things, or at least unless the community just ends up banning everything new, like Z moves and whatever Mega Evolutions, if those are still in, unless they just take all this new stuff and just throw it out, then that's one thing. But it really does feel like that Sun and Moon with all this new stuff is going to really change up the metagame.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely possible. It's a new take, and it's kind of cool that we have Z moves that are exclusive to certain Pokemon, but it seems like most of them are moves that can be used by any Pokemon, which gives it a little bit more of a, I don't know, different ideas that you can go with. There's a lot of different ways you can make your team work, and that's exciting in and of itself. So, yeah, nothing mind-shattering or anything like that, but new Pokemon and some Z moves, okay, I'll take it. Even though Rattata, not the most exciting one out there.
They probably went with Ratatta today just because, they probably figured that specific Alolan form wouldn't be exciting enough for its own, Sun and Moon news update. So they probably just wanted to have something to throw in to the Direct, and why not use that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we also got a bunch of Zelda talk within this Direct. Nothing about Metroid, of course, but there's a lot of Zelda stuff coming around. Starting off with the fact that they showed off Hyrule Warriors Legends third DLC pack, which includes a new weapon for Link in the form of the Sand Wand, and Toon Zelda, who thankfully is very interesting in the way that she is possessing the armor.
Yeah, the Phantom Armor. It looks super cool. And the Sand Wand, Toon Link's Sand Wand combos also incorporate the Spirit Train. So that was a lot of fun to see. I think I've spoken before about how big a fan of Spirit Tracks I actually was. So just to see Spirit Tracks represented at all in Hyrule Warriors is really cool. And as usual, I'm really, more than anything, I'm looking forward to seeing the Wii U versions of this new stuff, of Toon Zelda and the Sand Wand weapon. Yeah,
I'm going to be taking a look at those later today once we get this discussion done and all that. But those will be fun to see exactly how they play, how they feel. And I think I like what they put out there. It's kind of weird. It was like, oh yeah, by the way, this is out now, which I guess is about the most fanfare you can get for this. Yeah. But it is kind of funny how it's just sort of popped up out of nowhere. But on their own, just looking at them, I really do enjoy this, and I love how one of Toon Zelda's attacks is all the rats surrounding her and her screaming out of the Phantom Armor in order to take down enemies.
Like she's really intense in that combo. Like that, it's like a really long. She holds that scream for a long time. And I think are those Bombchu, or are they? I figured they were Bombchu.
I don't think they're Bombchu. I think they're just.
Oh, they're not. Okay.
I think they're just regular mice.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't.
I don't remember that being a reference to anything in Spirit Tracks, is it?
She was kind of a fraidy cat.
That's true, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, it's just what do you got to do in order to have that happen in the battlefield? I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, the amount of personality they bring to these characters and all these different moves is definitely the most endearing thing about Hyrule Warriors in just general.
Oh, totally. And now we get to look forward to what the A Link Between Worlds pack is going to bring us.
Which the leak has sort of revealed. I mean, this does follow the leak. So we know what's coming thanks to that leak. I'm not going to say it here in case you do want to be surprised. But we know what's coming in. I think they'll be fun too.
Yeah, I mean, I think today proved, getting to see this DLC pack in action, I think proved that even if you did look at the leaks and you know it's coming, it's still kind of a surprise to see everything in action. Mm-hmm. That still doesn't remove the excitement from seeing them, the final versions of this content.
Yeah, exactly. It's how they move, how they work, what kind of personality they bring. That's where the excitement comes from when it comes to Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
But, moving on with Zelda, we actually have new Zelda amiibo. 8-bit Link from the original Zelda, Ocarina of Time Link, and Wind Waker Link and Zelda, which will be in a two-pack. All of them have the same functionality as regular Link and Zelda in that way, so there's nothing really different in that way, except for the fact that they all have Breath of the Wild functionality as well, but they didn't exactly say what that functionality is.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, if it's anything like the Wolf Link amiibo functionality, it might be really weird. Maybe they'll actually have other Links and, Zelda teaming up with Breath of the Wild Link. I mean, it was really strange seeing Twilight Princess Link in wolf form just kind of spawn into the world next to Breath of the Wild Link and work alongside him. Like, it was really weird in kind of like a meta sense, because those two should not exist in the same world, and yet they do. So we might get something, more of that flavor kind of functionality with these other amiibo too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would totally be down for that. And I've mostly been done with my amiibo collecting. I haven't even picked up Callie and Marie yet. As far as that goes, I just haven't had time. But gotta say, the Wind Waker, Link, and Zelda are very tempting.
Yeah, I have to say they are, but I also already own Toon Link from Smash, so I
specifically did not pick up Toon Link from Smash because I hate his pose. I hate his pose in that. I hate his face in that.
Oh, really? I like it. Okay.
I like the pose. I guess is okay, but him have that sort of like downwards smile.
Sure,
that's not Toon Link to me. He's happy-go-lucky and all that.
That's true.
Such a weird thing. And now we have that classic pose of him with the Wind Waker. That is Toon Link to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I will focus on this one instead of the other one.
No, I hear you. I mean, it's unquestionable that the pose in the new Wind Waker Link amiibo is much better. And yeah, I mean, Wind Waker Link is my favorite version of Link in general. So, hey, depending on what the functionality is, maybe I will double dip and get that Wind Waker Link amiibo as well. And I guess if it's a 2-pack, I actually missed that part. I didn't realize it was a 2-pack, so I would be getting Zelda as well, which I'm fine with. I don't know about the others. I don't really feel the need to own an amiibo specifically of Ocarina of Time Link. 8-bit Link could be cool, but I already have an 8-bit Mario amiibo, so I guess it comes down to the functionality. But like you, I'm mostly done with my amiibo collecting. I'm still waiting on Cloud and Bayonetta, and maybe Corrin, but definitely Cloud and Bayonetta. Where are they?
I have no idea. It's interesting that we have, everybody was talking about our amiibos basically done with, and then they have a whole new set coming out, and nothing on the final bits of Smash. I guess the only thing I can think of is maybe their licensing rights going on behind the scenes to get these guys ready. I have no idea.
I mean, I could maybe throw out a guess that, Square and Platinum just want to make sure that the amiibo are done so right in their eyes, like that the sculpts are okay, that maybe that's made things take a little longer than usual. But it's just weird, because honestly, if they hadn't specifically confirmed that they are in production, at this point, I would start to believe they just weren't coming because of rights issues. Like maybe Square just wouldn't let them make one, or Platinum wouldn't let them make one. So the only reason I even think they're still coming is because they've already said they are.
Yeah, I have no idea, but
it's so bizarre.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll wait and see if they actually come. But if these amiibo have the same functionality of Wolf Link amiibo, boy, I can't wait to run around with a little mini me following me around.
Oh, like little Toon Link or something.
Little Toon Link following me around.
That would be very cool. Or even 8-bit Link too. That'd be pretty neat.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
The last bit of Zelda news we got though is that Skyward Sword was released on the Wii U eShop today, which is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Skyward Sword. I know a lot of people do not enjoy that game, but I still find it to be one of the better in the series. At least one of my favorites in the series. I should put specifically.
No, I hear you. I think Skyward Sword does very specific things so right, and then it gets very other specific things so wrong, and I think that's kind of what its legacy has ultimately been. I think a lot of people will agree that Skyward Sword really nailed a few things, and it didn't nail the whole package necessarily. But, not every Zelda game needs to. And I think Skyward Sword definitely has it plays an important role in the pantheon of Zelda titles. And I still think that the motion control for swinging Link's sword is... I never wanted to go back to just mashing a button to attack. And that still holds true. I mean, Breath of the Wild, I can't wait for it, but it didn't feel as fun fighting to me as it did in Skyward Sword.
Yeah, I don't mind buttons, but I also had fun with the actual swinging the sword, and the fact that they did try to make that as much of a puzzle as anything else. So
right.
The Skyward Sword has its moments. I already took a look on the eShop. It is $20, so that seems like a pretty decent deal if you haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, I think so. And something I think is worth pointing out, this is something I noticed during the Direct, and a few people have also pointed this out to me on Twitter. When Reggie announced this, he did specifically call this, he said the original version of Skyward Sword is now on the Wii U eShop, which could mean nothing. It could just be throwaway language, whatever, but it's a little interesting that he specified the original version of Skyward Sword, because that possibly suggests that maybe there is a non-original version in development, i.e. an HD version. So, it's just speculatory, but it is interesting.
I noticed that as well. I was trying to think at the time. I was also busy, but I was also trying to think. It's like, original version. What other versions were there? And
exactly.
I couldn't think of anything. That did pop up. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and I did say in a previous prediction video that I thought Skyward Sword HD would be a thing just to help fill out the Wii U's kind of ailing release schedule. I've kind of started to feel less like that as the months draw on, but maybe that's a hint that it actually is happening.
Yeah, I mean, there were quite a few of these games coming out by December, so
yeah,
Nintendo is filling out its release, so maybe, but you'd think they'd announce that relatively soon so as not to clash with Breath of the Wild, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they still have to fill out the first 3 months of 2017 at least.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something they're just going to, kind of hold in their pocket for that, for early 20... Who knows? I mean, the Wii U situation in general is just so bizarre right now.
Yeah, no kidding. That pretty much takes care of Zelda, but we also have Mario Sports Superstars, which includes soccer, baseball, tennis, golf, and horse racing, which... Okay, cool. We got new strikers. We got a new the baseball game. We got new Mario Tennis, Mario Golf.
Yeah.
And they're all in one package. I mean, it looks fine. But again,
it's Mario Sports again. I mean, horse racing's a cool surprise if you like horse racing. I mean, I don't, but I mean, that's kind of a neat surprise to have in a Mario Sports game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing new things, and they're trying to make this a full feature. They're definitely putting out there as like this, when they talk about soccer, this is 11 on 11, so it's fully featured and all that. And who knows, maybe the Mario Tennis in this game is more fleshed out than Power Smash or whatever it was, or Ultra Smash. Smash, that's what it was. It might be better than that.
I mean, it might be. I mean, for what it's worth, it does have full local and online play, so for all 5 sports, in the game. So I mean, if you're into Mario Sports titles, I guess this is something to be excited about. I don't care that much, I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I'm sure the game will be fine.
Yeah, hopefully. Because, yeah.
I mean, that's just the thing, is there have been so many Mario Sports titles over the years that they've all kind of started to blend together for me. So, this is just... It's a safe release. It's a completely safe game. Mm-hmm. It'll appeal to the people, to the same people that all the Mario Sports games appeal to. I don't really see it lighting charts on fire, though.
Yeah, like when I think of Mario Soccer, I think of Mario Strikers, and I think of all the personality in that game, and there's
exactly
not as much personality within this soccer game. This is soccer along the lines of something like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. So, which is fine. I mean, it has its place, but it's a little sad that Mario has lost sort of his crazy edge to his sports games, and I think that's why they just don't seem as appealing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason that the Strikers games are so well remembered is not necessarily because of the incredible soccer gameplay, even though they also had good gameplay, but it's because of that edge that Mario had, the crazy art style, just the general kind of edgy attitude that you don't usually see from Mario. And if they did that in every game, it would wear thin very quickly, but because they haven't really reused that style since those games, I think it would have been welcome to see here. But I agree with you. By comparison, this just feels slightly generic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
is what it is.
Yeah, which, oh well. I mean, we'll see how it comes out, but I'm not excited for it in the bit. But it's another game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of 3DS, we have the Street Pass Plaza update, which now adds the Quick Plaza to make everything go a lot quicker, and the ability to have up to 100 new Street Passes at a time, as well as 5 new Street Pass games, one of which can be free between either the Slot Car Rivals or Market Crashers. So, all that's pretty cool for those people that care about Street Pass.
Which, hey, you're talking to one right now. Look, I'll be completely honest. I know Street Pass is not, something everyone cares about. Andre hates Street Pass. I honestly thought they were done with Street Pass. I thought it had a nice run, and I thought they had just kind of silently phased it out. They throw us the occasional new puzzle swap panel once in a while these days, but I just kind of figured they were done with it. I was wrong. They're bringing new functionality, 5 new games. I'm super excited. The first thing I'm going to do after we're done recording this is go download them so I can have them ready for PAX, which I'm flying out for in a few hours. So, I don't know. I mean, again, I honestly thought they were done with the Street Pass updates, and here's 5 new games. And I gotta say, these 5 games, they appear to have a focus on being super fast and super bite-sized, even more than the other ones, which I'm cool with. And Market Crasher specifically, that seems like the kind of dumb, weird idea that Nintendo could actually make something really fun out of. Like, I thought Flower Town, like growing flowers, was going to be the dumbest thing, and then it ended up being a lot of fun. So, I don't know. Like, the stock market, I feel like that's the kind of weird thing that Nintendo's going to make a really fun Street Pass game out of. So, I'm looking forward to trying them out.
I get the feeling Nintendo realized that Street Pass was the most common thing at, like, conventions more than anything else. When you can't do, like, when it's really hard to get more than 10 people at a time because you're just walking around doing other things, so you miss out on a bunch. And also, you're want to get through it quick so you can get more people in and actually use everything. So it really does feel like a response to the Street Pass convention idea.
Yeah, I know it really does, and I'm happy to see them kind of, servicing that crowd, because it's a big thing. I mean, people still hold Street Pass events and, like gatherings. So, there's definitely a subset of 3DS users they go all in on Street Pass, and they must have done well enough on the last round of paid games. Because, I mean, I don't think they'd be making another round of, paid add-on games if the first round didn't sell at least decently. So, maybe Andre is not on the wrong side of history about this one.
We'll see. We'll see. But, I'm probably not going to do much with it, but it's cool for those people that do really enjoy Street Pass. I have, nothing against this whatsoever.
Right.
But I guess before we end this off, we got one brand new game and one game that we saw back at E3. The brand new game is Tank Troopers, which is an eShop exclusive and has various characters loading up at the tanks, and depending on the character in the tank, you get new abilities, plus the ability to have 6-player co-op, which I didn't get a good look at this game because I believe I was uploading something else at the time, but it seems fine.
Yeah, it's not really my thing. I mean, I just think it's kind of one of those. It's one of those quirky eShop only releases it'll find an audience, and I think it'll find a specific audience of people who likes it or who really like it. But beyond that, I don't know. I'm getting kind of like a Dylan's Rolling Western vibe from this, where it's like, okay, it'll be cool, but I don't know how much it's really going to have an impact.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks fine. It's tank combat and whatnot. I was actually hoping for like sort of an Advance Wars connection, kind of thing. I thought that would.
I was kind of getting
really
an
cool.
Advance Wars vibe, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like the kind of the cartoony anime vibe with tank warfare. It did kind of give me an Advance Wars vibe, but it obviously not in the way that people just want a new Advance Wars game, and I get that.
Yeah, unfortunately not. But again, it might be good. It's hard to say just from this quick look, but we'll see. But then we also have Ever Oasis. And again, I was busy uploading something else, so I missed out on what this is. But the pedigree is interesting there. The concept seems good enough. And I don't know, this feels like one that might surprise people in as far as how good it actually is.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I'm getting a Fantasy Life vibe from it so far, which is fine. I mean, Fantasy Life was a great game. It does seem like it's going to be the kind of game where maybe there isn't much of a focus on story so much as it is, the gameplay experience, and it might be a mechanically competent action RPG that'll be fun if you can immerse yourself in the world, but I'm not really seeing a grand story coming together here necessarily.
Which is not a bad thing. I mean, that's really needed, and if they do have a interesting multiplayer focus, or be able to play together at least, because this does seem like the type of game that would take advantage of that, or have something fun to come out of that. We'll see, but I think it's definitely one that I feel like should be kept an eye on. But as of right now, it's nothing that fully grabs me.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling it yet. I feel like maybe as it gets closer to release, there will be something to really, get excited about and pay attention to. But so far, I'm not sold on it yet. I think it looks fine, but it just doesn't look like the kind of game I'd rush out and buy full price as soon as I can. Like, I just feel like there are other games that seem to do a lot of the same things that Ever Oasis does, but at least as well or better.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's still early, so, who knows?
Very true. And we actually, of course, beyond these, we got some word on third-party titles. They showed a little bit of Spirit of Justice, a little bit of Shin Megami Tensei 4. We actually got word about Dragon Quest 8 and how it is going to come out in 2017. No idea when in 2017, but it's coming. Which is probably a good idea considering how long Dragon Quest 7 is supposed to be. So give people a little bit of time to finish that game before Dragon Quest 8 comes out.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking we're not going to see Dragon Quest 8 until, maybe late summer 2017. I don't think it's going to be spring. Dragon Quest games take so much localization work. They're so text-heavy. I just don't see this appearing before summer.
That one's hard for me. I could see it arriving by summer. I don't think... I
guess I could maybe see, May or June, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, okay. I could definitely see that. Late summer, I don't see that. I don't think it's going to take another year for it to come out.
Okay.
Not when they already said they were going to be close together. They just sort of widened the gap a bit. So.
Okay, that's true. I forgot they said that. So then, yeah, maybe spring, May, June, late spring, I could see.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, good point.
But yeah, there are good things coming to the 3DS. There's a lot of things coming to the 3DS. It's just not all of them are particularly exciting for the individual person. Not everybody's going to look at all these games. There's not one game here that stands out as oh my god, I need this.
Speaking of that, oh my god, I need this game, I really wish they would put more thought into how they announce, or introduce games, because twice today, JC Rodrigo is well, there's this one RPG that fans have really been looking forward to, and it's this and that, and it was Dragon Quest 7. And then it was Yokai Watch 2, but it wasn't Mother 3. Come on.
So that's just your own bias is getting the best of you. You're just oh, please, Mother 3. I never expected Mother 3 to actually
I didn't expect it today. I think Andre did. I unfortunately was not part of the discussion.
Yeah, he didn't expect it. He just sort of tossed it out there as a possibility. But he didn't think it was actually going to happen.
No,
it is kind of funny how I really feel like Yokai Watch 2 came out with a solid thunk.
Yeah.
I've played the original. There's so little about this game that looks interesting to me. I don't know why. I mean, I know it has fans. It has a lot of personality. It's made by Level 5, which is what I do enjoy them as developers. I don't know why Yokai Watch just feels like Yokai Watch 2 feels like just a nothing to me.
Because you already are looking forward to Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it scratches the exact same itch. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can say the same thing as a Mega Man Battle Network fan. It's that other dual version yearly release game that's not Pokemon that you can be a really big fan of if you're already a fan of the IP. For me, that was Mega Man Battle Network, because I love Mega Man, but, I'll admit, it didn't have, I don't know how much it actually did to draw away the Pokemon audience. It did well enough for itself, but Yokai Watch is like that. It's, it scratches that Pokemon itch for people who are not into Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much. And, especially with Sun and Moon coming out and looking as good, I mean, that is probably the game in here. That is the game in here that's oh my god, be excited about this, but it also had the least amount of information in quite a while, or at least amount of non-information, I should say. So that's probably why it didn't quite stand out as much. This was just a very I guess safe direct is the way I want to go with it. There's nothing amazing or anything like that, but
I think safe is fair.
Safe and solid across the board.
Yeah, I think it was a little underwhelming, maybe underdelivered a bit, but I don't know how many people expected this to really be an incredible direct either. So I don't think it's really a huge loss. I think it was fine. And now we just have to, we have to wonder, A, when is the NX info drop happening? And B, will there be another Direct focused on Wii U or Color Splash or something before the end of the year? Because, I mean, again, there's that elephant in the room. If Mother 3 is going to happen, it's most likely got to happen this year, especially if it's going to be for the Wii U, which it seems like it would be. And that's what the rumors have led us to believe. Yeah. So, that's what we have to wonder at this point.
I have no idea. We'll see what Nintendo does, but...
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I think that's
it was fine.
Yeah. But, alright, I think that covers it for our Nintendo Direct discussion, so thank you for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, and of course stay tuned to GameXplain for more on the 3DS and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye.